Welcome to Science and Technology Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Marshall Wace, PAG executives blast hedge funds' excessive payouts. Samsung unveils generative AI model amid global race. Live, China's commodity demand remains very good, says Rio Tinto CEO. Amazon dedicates team to train ambitious AI model codenamed Olympus sources. India proposes slashing EV import taxes in UK free trade deal. Marshall Wace, PAG executives blast hedge funds' excessive payouts. Bloomberg. Hedge fund executives have criticized excessive payouts from platforms for fueling a talent war in the global industry. The business model has led to the commodification of human talent and a merry-go-round of employees moving between firms, according to Paul Marshall, co-founder of Marshall Wace. Platforms including Millennium Management and Citadel are offering pay offers of hundreds of millions of dollars to attract portfolio managers. Marshall Wace recently imposed a new compensation surcharge of up to 0.75% of the assets of its $22.5 billion Eureka Hedge fund due to heightened competition for talent. Samsung unveils generative AI model amid global race. Nikkei Asia. Samsung Electronics has unveiled its own generative AI model called Samsung Gauss. The model can write emails in Korean and English, summarize reports, translate documents, and create images. Samsung plans to install Gauss on its smartphones and other devices next year as it competes with Apple in the global smartphone market. The announcement comes as global tech companies rush to release generative AI models, such as OpenAI's ChatGPT models and Google's Bard. However, there are concerns about the regulation of AI technology, with more than 25 countries agreeing to work together to combat the risks posed by AI. Live, China's commodity demand remains very good, says Rio Tinto CEO. Nikkei Asia. The Global Management Dialogue, an annual forum organized by Nikkei and Swiss Business School IMD, is currently taking place in Tokyo. This year's event focuses on the theme Navigating an Era of Frontier Technologies and features top executives from various industries discussing their strategies to address challenges such as the green energy transition and supply chain disruptions. During the forum, Rio Tinto CEO Jacob Stoschelm highlighted the booming electric vehicle industry in China, stating that the demand for iron ore has gone up by 4.4% in the last 12 months. The CEO also emphasized Rio Tinto's commitment to decarbonization and its $7.5 billion plan to have greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Mexican startup Adriano D. Marti presented its vegan leather product, Deserto, at the forum. The founders, Adrian Lopez Velarde and Marte Cazares, spoke about the sustainability and performance of the material, which is made from cactus plants. They mentioned that the automotive and fashion industries in Asia have shown interest in their product, and they plan to expand production and sales outside of Mexico. Suntory Holdings CEO Takashi Nainami discussed the importance of profitability and emerging trends for leaders of legacy companies. He emphasized the need for companies to drill down on important technologies and ensure profitability. Nainami also highlighted the importance of having enough capital to navigate geopolitical risks such as Taiwan, the Middle East, and US-China ties. He urged Japanese leaders to look outside of Japan and connect to the global network. Amazon dedicates team to train ambitious AI model codenamed Olympus sources. Reuters. Amazon is reportedly investing heavily in training a large language model, LLM, called Olympus in an effort to rival models from OpenAI and Alphabet. According to anonymous sources, Olympus has 2 trillion parameters, potentially making it one of the largest models being trained. The project is being led by Rohit Prasad, former head of Alexa, who now reports directly to CEO Andy Jassy. Amazon hopes that developing its own models will make its offerings more attractive on its cloud platform, Amazon Web Services. There is no specific timeline for the release of Olympus. India proposes slashing EV import taxes in UK free trade deal. Bloomberg. India is considering reducing import taxes on electric vehicles, EVs, from the UK as part of efforts to secure a free trade agreement between the two countries. New Delhi is reportedly considering a 30% concessional tariff on 2,500 EVs priced above $80,000 imported annually from the UK. Currently, India levies taxes between 70% and 100% on imported cars. A final decision on import duties has yet to be made. The move could boost the adoption of EVs in India, where demand is rising but remains limited due to high costs, limited options, and a lack of charging stations. Taiwan's land squeeze pits advanced chips against ancestral temples. Reuters. Taiwan's semiconductor industry is seeing increased opposition from residents and environmental groups as land and energy shortages bite. In October, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing scrapped plans to build a factory as part of a science park expansion following opposition from 40 residents, which could set a worrying trend, as the industry is facing a land crunch in densely populated Taiwan. The world's largest contract chipmaker last year contributed almost half of Taiwan's $150.27 billion semiconductor industry revenue. Bayer CEO sees possible split of crops or consumer health. Bloomberg. Bayer may be considering splitting its consumer health and crop science operations, CEO Bill Anderson said. Bayer reported disappointing Q3 earnings, with EBITDA falling 31% to €1.69 billion, $1.8 billion, due to falling prices for glyphosate, the active ingredient in its Roundup weed killer. Anderson said that the company would remove layers of management and coordination by the end of 2020. He will elaborate further on the company's future plans at an investor day in March. China's innovators are lying flat, Primavera's who says. Bloomberg. China needs to provide more support in the short term to maintain growth while protecting the private sector over the long term to avoid a lost decade like Japan did in the 1990s, according to Primavera Capital Group CEO Fred Hu. The comparison gained traction this year after Richard Koo, chief economist at Nomura Research Institute, warned that China is experiencing a balance sheet recession similar to Japan's, in which households and companies avoid borrowing or investing and concentrate on paying down debt. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your friendly neighborhood observer from the six-dimensional world. Today, we have a mix of news from various industries and countries, so let's dive right in. Hedge fund executives are not happy about excessive payouts that are fueling a talent war in the industry. The commodification of human talent has led to a merry-go-round of employees moving between firms, creating a competitive frenzy. However, Marshall Wace is taking a different approach by imposing a compensation surcharge to attract and retain top talent. Maybe they're onto something here. Samsung is joining the race in generative AI models with its latest creation, Samsung Gauss. The model can do it all: write emails, summarize reports, translate documents, and even create images. It's like having a personal assistant that never sleeps. But let's not forget about the concerns surrounding the regulation of AI technology. With more than 25 countries working together to combat the risks, we might see some interesting developments in the future. At the Global Management Dialogue Forum, Rio Tinto's CEO highlighted the booming demand for iron ore in the electric vehicle industry in China. It seems like the green energy transition is driving the need for raw materials, and companies like Rio Tinto are committed to decarbonization. On a different note, Mexican startup Adriano Di Marti presented its vegan leather made from cactus plants, which has piqued the interest of the automotive and fashion industries in Asia. Who knew that cactus could be so fashionable? Amazon is not one to be left behind, as they dedicate a team to train their ambitious AI model, codenamed Olympus. With 2 trillion parameters, this model is no small feat. Amazon hopes that developing its own models will make its offerings more attractive on its cloud platform. It's like a battle of the giants in the AI world: Amazon, OpenAI, and Alphabet all vying for the top spot. Who will come out on top? Only time will tell. In a bid to secure a free trade agreement, India is considering reducing import taxes on electric vehicles from the UK. This move could boost the adoption of EVs in India, where demand is rising but still limited due to high costs and limited options. It's a step in the right direction for a greener future. Taiwan's semiconductor industry is facing opposition from residents and environmental groups due to land and energy shortages. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing had to scrap plans for a factory expansion due to opposition from residents. This could be a worrying trend as the industry faces a land crunch. Let's hope they can find a balance between technological advancement and environmental concerns. Lastly, Bayer may consider splitting its consumer health and crop science operations after reporting disappointing earnings. Falling prices for glyphosate, the active ingredient in its Roundup weed killer, have taken a toll on the company's profits. A reorganization might be just what the doctor ordered. Now, my dear viewers, what are your thoughts on these news stories? Do you have any burning questions or fascinating insights to share? The floor is yours. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.